we've had a pretty interesting last couple of months, I'd say. What with stock market tanking and trade wars and tariffs and all that crap. I can't say that I'm disappointed. It's kind of the way things have been going. I think I've been saying it quite a bit lately that I feel like we live in a bizarro world, mostly because of China.
Yeah, I mean, China's a really interesting place and entity in its existential paradoxes. I think in many cases China is used as a kind of, it's not really nebulous, it's a very specific counterpoint to the United States, but we have a lot more in common than we think based on what the media presents to us, I think.
Or what the government suggests.
Yeah, exactly. And that's funny you should say that. I believe when we have propaganda coming to us, and it's been redefined as fake news or alternative facts, and that to me is a sign of doublespeak, which originates in the Orwellian 1984 timeline. And it's
when I was a kid, my dad referred to that stuff as tabloid media.
Yeah, tabloid was the name for it for a while too.
And we knew it wasn't real.
Yeah.
We knew it was entertainment.
Yep. Well, and there's a very specific point in time where I think it became difficult for people to know if tabloid was real or not, and it was because the tabloids were one of the first people to come out with a story that was actually accurate. It was the John Edwards story when he was about to start running for president, and it's ironic now that story killed his campaign when we have the same type of story happening, effectively playing out after our current president's successful campaign.
Yeah.
I don't know if that. I guess it's debatable. He lost the popular vote technically. So
man, imagine if Bill had just resigned because of his scandal, and I think that would have we would have been on a different course.
Yeah.
I think before him we have examples of guys like Kennedy and Marilyn Monroe, who is quite possibly the sexiest, most desirable woman of the day. And then we have Bill, who is getting it on with the intern. Whose big claim to fame later is to go on to have a failed purse line, I believe.
Yeah, I mean,
we would have been on a completely different course had the country not had to deal with that, I think.
Well, and it's hard to say, really, if it was a completely different course, because if you look at Clinton versus Bush policies, they're not that far off from each other. And this is kind of where I'm starting to wonder how much validity there is to the notion of actual two-party system, in the sense that people just switch their ideologies as soon as the opposition changes their ideology. And now we have effectively the left wing in our current the current debate is whether the United States should stay in Syria, and you have the left wing that are openly the voices supporting staying in Syria right now, which is effectively they're the warmongers. And now, to me, when you're saying we're in Bizarro world, that's like the most shining example that I've seen in the last like 2 or 3 2 or 3 months, where I'm just like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Well, I don't know. It's one of those times where I feel kind of the same way about it. There's nothing. We've done everything that we can do. There's no. It's not like we're not there to recoup our investment. There's no investment. This is a humanitarian thing. You either do it because that's what heroes do, or you don't, because you're not a hero. And right?
I mean, is that what the argument is?
I think so. Like that, right? Isn't that what America does? They like send in and save people and free them with democracy or something like that.
I'm used to the argument coming from the right wing, but I'm used to arguing against right wingers making that point. So that's where I'm saying
that's the weird part. Is like I've read all these things and it's like that's what I'm reading, and it's like, wait, what the hell's going on? Am I in Bizarro world now? I really am. It wasn't just in China. China's not just like leading the pack to like divest from coal energy and fix workers' rights and fix the humanitarian stuff and protect their culture and reintegrate indigenous peoples and improve trade and commerce with Africa to the point that they're now recognized as a threat to the American economy is interest in Africa. Like, how does that even? That's the whole point of capitalism and free economy is to compete. They're out competing us. We need sanctions.
Yeah, it's very interesting when government intervention becomes the counter move to being outmaneuvered in capitalism, and it's usually the most pro-capitalist people that are the quickest to shout for government, especially military involvement in a retaliation.
Yeah.
I haven't heard much about Chinese military movement at all in the last couple of years. I'm not saying
other than that islands they've been building to expand their control over the South China Sea.
Yeah, but that's the one major thing that they've been telling us about here. Not to say that the Chinese military is just sitting on its fucking thumbs or something.
But that's they need to do that. They need to make sure that they can get in and out.
Of course.
I mean, it'd be very easy for the United States to set up a blockade around,
which would be, the notion. Every time I hear about these near collision incidents, whether it be in the ocean or the air, I'm always wondering what the hell we're doing over there in the first place.
Seriously, you realize how big these boats are, right?
Yeah,
they're huge.
Yeah.
They're gigantic.
Yeah, they're big enough to hold aircraft on it. Multiple aircraft.
They're big enough to have other boats on them.
And take off. It takes a lot. I mean, I know that the way the aircraft carriers are set up does a little bit to assist the takeoff and the landing of planes in a way that's not the full landing strip, but it's still a pretty fucking long landing strip.
They can play football on decks of aircraft carrier and have plenty of room for people to stand around, like a full football field. There's more than a football field on those things. They're huge. They're small cities. They have fuel refineries and engineering complexes where they can machine new components for aircraft. They can build components to fix parts of the ship itself. They're small cities. They're incredible.